Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam to all the Vaishnavas listening to me. Today we will start from 25th question of the chapter Mellows of Devotional Service. Before that, let us offer our prayers at the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev Ji Maharaj and all our previous acharyas. Om Agyantimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya चक्षुरन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त श्रीराधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तद्काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। 25th question is how adulterous is rasa among followers of unauthorized sects. Answer is unauthorized sampradayas take shelter of mundane rasa on the pretext of manifesting spiritual rasa. They are completely misguided. 26th question, how do we determine which living entities belong to which rasa? Answer is a living entity's rasa is determined according to his confidential taste. When a practitioner's faith awakens and he gradually attains taste, then he begins to love his own rasa. After determining his taste, his spiritual master teaches him his particular process of bhajana. 27th question, who is the object and who are the followers of Shantarasa? Answer is Shantarasa is first among all rasas. Shantarasa is the sthyayi bhava of this rasa. The happiness found in merging into the impersonal Brahman and the yogi's self-satisfaction are extremely insignificant in relation to this type of happiness. Spiritual happiness is so much more than confidential. Realization of the Lord's personal form is the cause of this happiness. The object of Shantarasa is the four-handed Narayana. This form of Lord possesses transcendental qualities like opulence and greatness. Persons who are peaceful and are situated in neutrality are the shelter of Shantarati. The Atmaramas, the self-satisfied, and the ecstatics who have firm faith in the absolute truth follow Shantarasa. The four great personalities, Sanaka, Sanananda, Sanat Kumara, and Santana or Sanatana, are the principal Atmaramas. They wander about as celibates. In the beginning, they were attached to the impersonal Brahman, but becoming attracted by the Lord's sweet transcendental form, they began to worship that spiritual form. Although the ecstatics have been able to renounce material enjoyment by practicing Yukta Vairagya, they have not yet vanquished their desire for liberation. Such people enter Shantarasa. 28th question, what are the characteristics of a Shanta Bhakta? What are the Vaibhava and Anubhava of Shantarati? Answer is, the devotees in the Shanta mood have not developed intense affection for Krishna. Affection is a natural mood based on our constitutional position. Therefore, the rati of a Shanta Bhakta is always pure. Lord Hari is eternal, blissful, unchangeable, compassionate and full of knowledge, full of all opulence, the super soul, the supreme Brahman, the giver of liberation and the crest jewel amongst the Atmaramas. He is the object of Shantarati. The living entities under this Rati's shelter are either Atmaramas or ecstatics. This rasa's Thyai Bhava is to meet a personality named Mukunda, who is self-illuminated, full spiritual, completely devoid of material qualities and beyond the reach of sense perception. The activities that stimulate Shantarasa are hearing the principal Upanishads, associating with renunciants, introspection, contemplating truth, cultivating spiritual knowledge, seeing the Lord's universal form, associating with the learned and discussing the Brahma Sutras and Upanishads with like-minded persons. The Anubhavas of Shantarasa are remaining silent, staring at the tip of the nose, behaving like a mendicant, looking only to a distance of 5 feet while walking, displaying the mudra of knowledge by touching the tip of thumb with the dip of index finger, not being envious of those who are envious of the Supreme Lord, not exhibiting sufficient respect to the devotees, longing for perfection in the form of relief from material existence, glorifying liberation while living free of attachment within the gross and subtle bodies, and remaining impartial, devoid of false ego, and without a sense of proprietorship. The devotees in Shantarasa exhibit all the transformations of ecstatic love except pralaya. But because they do not identify with their bodies, such ecstatic transformations are exhibited only in the form of smoke, dhumayate. Sometimes they are illuminated, jwalita, but never brightly illuminated, deepta. Sometimes vyabhichari and sanchari bhavas such as desire, emotions, patience, happiness, argumentativeness, remembrance, enthusiasm and indifference are found in Shantarasa. Being decorated with such characteristics, Shantarasa is considered one of the rasas. 29th question. When do the mellows of loving devotional service manifest? Answer is, Shantarasa is not found in the description of the Vraja pastimes because it is not aimed at a particular form of the Lord. Rather, it is devoid of affection. By immense good fortune, a living entity develops affection for the Lord's transcendental form. As soon as this affection is born, pure rati is nourished and become prema. Then the mellows of loving devotional service manifests. 30th question. What is Shantarasa according to Vaishnava literature? Answer is, you must love God with all thy heart. Your heart now runs to things other than God, but you must make your feelings run to loving God as you would train a horse to run in a particular way. This is one of the 4 principles of worship, or what is called Shantarasa in Vaishnava literature. 31st question. What is the difference between the mellows of loving devotional service and Dasya Rasa? Answer is, many people call the mellows of loving devotional service Dasya Rasa, but the mellows of loving devotional service are twofold. Loving devotional service with awe and reverence, and loving devotional service with affection. The mellows of loving devotional service with awe and reverence are known as Dasya Rasa. Loving devotional service with affection is called Preeti Bhakti Rasa, not Dasya Rasa. 32nd question. What is Dasya Rasa? Answer is, you must love God with all your mind. When you perceive, conceive, remember, imagine and reason, you must not allow yourself to be a dry thinker. You must love. Love alone can soften the intellect's dryness. You must develop the intellect on all good and holy things by means of harmony, love of truth and spiritual beauty. This is the second phase of Vaishnava development and is called Dasya Rasa. 33rd question. How far does Dasya Rasa advance? Answer is, Dasya Rasa advances up to Raga, surpassing Prema and Sneha. 34th question. What is Vishrambha? Answer is firm faith devoid of pain is called Vishrambha. It has been explained as faith without awe and reverence. Strong faith in Krishna without the obstacle of awe or reverence is called Vishrambha or familiarity. 35th question. What is Pranaya? Answer is despite possessing the quality of awe and reverence, when Rati remains aloof from the touch of awe and reverence, it is called Pranaya. 36th question. What are the progressive stages of Pranaya? Answer is Pranaya gradually surpasses the stages of Prema and Sneha and reaches Raga in Sakhya Rasa. 37th question. Is there separation between Sri Krishna and the residents of Raja? Answer is according to the Lord's manifest pastimes, separation is described in relation to Sakhya Rasa, but actually there is never any separation between Sri Krishna and the residents of Raja. 38th question. What are the characteristics of Vatsalya Rasa? Answer is when there is a lack of confidence in Krishna, Preeti Rasa is not nourished. In such an instance, Sakhya Rasa disappears. But there is no harm if this lack of confidence occurs in Vatsalya Rasa. It is a special quality of Vatsalya Rasa. 39th question. What are the characteristics of Baldeva, Yudhishthira and Ahuka's respective rasas? Answer is Baldeva's Sakhya mood is mixed with Vatsalya. Yudhishthira's Vatsalya mood is mixed with Dasya and Sakhya. Ahuka's Dasya mood is mixed with Vatsalya. The elderly cowherd man's Vatsalya mood is mixed with Sakhya. Nakula's Sahadeva and Narada's Sakhya mood is mixed with Dasya. Siva, Garuda and Uddhava's Dasya mood is mixed with Sakhya. A similar mixture of moods is found in Krishna's grandsons such as Aniruddha and others. Other devotees also possess mixed moods. 40th question. What is Sakhya Rasa of the Vaishnavas? Answer is you must love God with all thy soul. You must perceive yourself in spiritual communication with the deity and receive holy revelations in your most sublime hours of worship. This is called the Sakhya Rasa of the Vaishnavas, the soul approaching the deity in holy and fearless service. 41st question. Why is Madhurya Rasa topmost and worship of the Lord under Sri Rupa's guidance most relishable? Answer is among the 5 principal rasas, Madhurya Rasa is topmost. I glorify this rasa with all my heart. All the characteristics of the other rasas are present in Madhurya Rasa. All the secondary rasas which are categorized into Vyabhichari bhavas nourish Madhurya Rasa. Anyone who worships the Lord under Sri Rupa's guidance attains Madhurya Rasa. 42nd question. How are the secondary rasas relishable in the mellows of devotional service to Krishna? Answer is there are 7 secondary rasas in Krishna's devotional service. They are relishable because they nourish Sri Krishna's pastimes. The 7 secondary rasas, which include laughter, are within the Vyabhichari and Sanchari bhavas, appearing at appropriate times as the waves of transcendental mellows. They nourish and increase the beauty of the Prema ocean. Being unable to realize the transcendental position of the signs of rasa, one may have the following doubt: laughter, astonishment and enthusiasm are accepted as part of auspicious rasa. But how can fear, anger, hatred and lamentation be part of rasa, which is fearless, calm and free from grief? I am afraid that by accepting them, we are making rasa mundane, a product of matter. This answer is this: Ecstatic rasa is variegated, yet it is full of bliss and not at all distasteful. 43rd question. What are the root cause, function and support of rasa? Answer is Sthyayi bhava is the root of rasa, Vaibhava is its cause, and both Anubhava and Satvika bhava are its function. Sanchari and Vibhachari bhavas support rasa. Vibhava, Anubhava and Satvika and Vyabhichari bhavas make Sthyayi bhava most relishable. 44th question. What is rasa bhasa and what are its characteristics? Answer is when rasa is incomplete and devoid of a limb, it is called rasa bhasa. Rasa bhasa is divided into three categories according to Uttama, Madhyama and Kanishtha: Uparasa, Anurasa and Aparasa. 45th question. What is the symptom of rasa bhasa? Answer is rasa bhasa makes rasa unpalatable, just as a salt and sour preparation mixed with a sweet drink is unpalatable. A contradiction of rasa is called rasa bhasa. 46th question. What causes uparasa? Answer is uparasa can occur to any of the 12 rasas with the help of sthyayi bhava, vibhava and anubhava. Uparasa is caused by aversion to sthyayi bhava, vibhava and anubhava. 47th question. What is anurasa and what are some examples of it? Answer is rasa without a direct relationship with Krishna is called anurasa. The cowherd boy is laughing upon seeing the dance of the kakhati birds, and Nirada's wonder upon seeing the parrots discussing Vedanta in the trees of Bhandirvana are examples of anurasa. In anurasa, Krishna is seen in the distance, not directly. 48th question. What is uparasa and what is an example of it? Answer is if Krishna or his opponents become the objects of laughter, then this laughter is called aparasa. An example of aparasa is Jarasandha laughing repeatedly upon seeing Krishna running away. 49th question. Who are the friends and enemies of the rasas beginning with Shanta? Answer is the friends of Shanta rasa are Dasya, Vibhatsa, Dharmavira and Adbhuta rasa. Adbhuta rasa is also a friend of Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya and Madhurya rasa. The enemies of Shanta rasa are Madhurya, Yudhavira, Rodra and Bhayanaka rasa. The friends of Dasya rasa are Vibhatsa, Shanta, Dharmavira and Dhanavira rasa. The enemies of Dasya rasa are Madhurya, Yudhavira and Rodra rasa. The friends of Sakhya rasa are Madhurya, Hasya and Yudhavira rasa. The enemies of Sakhya rasa are Vatsalya, Vibhatsa, Rodra and Bhayanaka rasa. The friends of Vatsalya rasa are Hayasa, Karuna and Bhaya Bhedaka rasa. The enemies of Vatsalya rasa are Madhurya, Yudhavira, Dasya and Rodra rasa. The friends of Madhurya rasa are Hayasa and Sakhya rasa. The enemies of Madhurya rasa are Vatsalya, Vibhatsa, Shantarodra and Bhayanaka rasa. The friends of Hasya rasa are Vibhatsa, Madhurya and Vatsalya rasa. The enemies of Hasya rasa are Karuna and Bhayanaka rasa. The friends of Adbhuta rasa are Veera, Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya and Madhurya. The enemies of Adbhuta rasa are Hasya, Sakhya, Dasya, Rodra and Vibhatsa rasa. The friend of Veera rasa is Adbhuta rasa. The enemy of Veera rasa is Bhayanaka rasa. According to some opinions, Shanta rasa is also an enemy of Veera rasa. The friends of Karuna rasa are Rodra and Vatsalya rasa. The enemies of Karuna rasa are Veera, Hasya, Madhurya and Adbhuta rasa. The friends of Raudra Rasa are Karuna and Veera Rasa. The enemies of Raudra Rasa are Hasya, Shringara and Bhayanaka Rasa. The friends of Bhayanaka Rasa are Vibhatsa and Karuna Rasa. The enemies of Bhayanaka Rasa are Veera, Shringara, Hasya and Raudra Rasa. The friends of Vibhatsa Rasa are Shanta, Hasya and Dasya Rasa. The enemies of Vibhatsa Rasa are Shringara and Sakhya Rasa. All other rasas are neutral. 50th question. Please explain the mystery of the gopis becoming the wives of other men. Answer is, the Vraja gopis never have sexual relationships with their so-called husbands. Their husbands are only illusory incarnations of the conjugal mood. The gopis do not have husbands, but their mood of being the wives of others is eternally present. If this mood were not present, how would they be able to manifest the wonderful play of being afraid or prohibited by their husbands of obstacles and aversion? Unless we develop such a mood, we cannot become damsels of Vraja, as proven by the example of Lakshmi. 51st question. Why don't we consider the rasa of Sri Krishna's transcendental pastimes vulgar? Answer is, moral persons naturally hate mundane rasa. If we hate the thought of transcendental rasa, we are certainly prejudiced. Controlled by such prejudice, unfortunate people hate transcendental rasa in Krishna's Leela, wherein the Lord associates with spirit souls who possess spiritual bodies. Thus, unfortunate people cheat themselves and gain nothing. 52nd question. How do devotees under the shelter of Parakiya Rasa respect rules and regulations? Answer is, when a married woman becomes overwhelmed by the beauty of another man and secretly becomes attached to him, she outwardly respects her husband even more to avoid arousing his suspicion. Similarly, Krishna's lovers take shelter of Parakiya Rasa and by internally cultivating attachment while externally following the regulative principles. 53rd question. What is the history of the development of transcendental rasa in the eastern and western countries? Answer is, if we were to study the history of the five rasas, clearly we would find the Shanta rasa was visible in India's beginning days. Transcendentalists like Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanananda, Sanat Kumara, Narada and Mahadeva, who were not satisfied by performing sacrifices with material ingredients, became detached from this world and situated in transcendence. They realized Shantarasa. Much later, Hanuman, the leader of the monkeys, manifested Dasyarasa. Dasyarasa gradually expanded to the northwest and appeared in the great personality Moses. Long after Hanuman's time, Uddhava and Arjuna became qualified authorities of Sakhya Rasa. They preached this rasa throughout the world. Gradually, this rasa expanded to the Arabian countries and touched the hearts of Muhammad, the knower of religious principles. Vatsalya rasa manifested throughout India in different forms and at different times. Among the different forms, Vatsalya mixed with opulence, crossed India and appeared in the great personality Jesus Christ, who was a preacher of religious principles. Madhurya rasa first shone brightly in Vraja. This rasa rarely enters the hearts of conditioned souls because it tends to remain with qualified, pure living entities. Navadvipa Chandra Sri Sachikumara preached this secret rasa along with his followers. This rasa has not yet gone beyond India. A short while ago, a scholar from England named Newman realized something about this rasa and wrote a book about it. The people of Europe and America are not satisfied with Vatsalya Rasa mixed with opulence as preached by Jesus Christ. I hope that by the Lord's grace they will soon become attached to the intoxicating nectar of Madhurya Rasa. We can see that any rasa that appears in India eventually spreads to the western countries. Madhurya Rasa will therefore soon be preached throughout the world. Just as the sun first rises in India and gradually spreads its light to the western countries, similarly, the matchless shining of spiritual truth first appears in India and gradually spreads to the western countries. 54th question. What is the difference between the Acharya's preaching of Madhurya Rasa before and after Sri Chaitanya Deva's advent? Answer is, Acharyas such as Vishnu Swami, Nimbaditya and Ramanuja preached Madhurya Rasa long before Mahaprabhu's advent. Sri Madhavendra Puri, the Parama Gurudeva of Mahaprabhu, first established preaching Madhurya Rasa's scientific basis, and Sri Ishwara Puri improved upon his work. Sri Mahaprabhu then displayed the ultimate perfection of this rasa. Although poets like Jayadeva and Vidyapati scientifically relished this rasa, it was not popular during their time. What to speak of Jayadeva, Srimad Bhagavatam itself is the complete storehouse of Madhurya Rasa. Still, no one before Mahaprabhu opened the gate to that storehouse and allowed the ordinary people to think and drink of the nectarian love of God. 55th question. Are the mellows of ecstatic love subject matter for argument? Answer is, the mellows of love of God are just like an ocean of milk. If one pours cow dung and cow urine in the form of arguments into milk, the whole pot becomes tasteless. 56th question. What is the characteristic of Vipralamba Rasa? Answer is, Vipralamba means separation. When dyeing an already colored cloth, the color of the cloth intensified. Similarly, through separation, the desire for conjugal enjoyment intensifies. Without Vipralamba, the conjugal pastimes cannot be nourished. 57th question. In what rasa does the mood of female arise in living entity's spiritual body? Answer is, the eternally pure body of the living entity is fully spiritual. There is no difference between male and female in that body. The living entity's spiritual body is full of pure, independent desires. According to each soul's mood, the pure body manifests either as a male or a female. In Shantarasa, however, the mood is neither male nor female. In Dasya and Sakhya Rasa, the mood is male. In Matri Vatsalya, the mood is female, and in Pitri Vatsalya, male. In the brightly shining Madhurya Rasa, the mood of all pure living entities is female. All these devotees serve Krishna, the only supreme enjoyer. 58th question. Is mundane rasa eternal or factual? Answer is, mundane rasa, which is preached by mundane literature, is the perverted reflection of supreme transcendental rasa. It is not eternal. It is a shadow of the original rasa, the mirage in the desert. 59th question. What causes transcendental mellows to develop or decrease? Answer is, life cannot be sustained without rasa. Material life is full of material rasa. In a devotee's life, spiritual rasa appears momentarily like a flash of electricity. By the mercy of a bona fide spiritual master and on the strength of sadhu sangha, this mood gradually increases and fully blossoms. Due to a lack of sadhu sangha and hearing atheistic and impersonal instruction, undeveloped rasa gradually decreases and is finally lost. This is a most unfortunate state. 60th question. What is the preliminary stage of Vatsalya Rasa as Jesus Christ preached it? Answer is, Jesus said, "You must love man as thy brother." This understanding is the fourth phase of love, which is a feeling that all men are brothers with God as their common father. It is Vatsalya Rasa in its first stage of development. 61st question. What is the difference in rasa between Nimbarka and Gaudiya Sampradayas? Why is the bhajan the Gaudiya Vaishnavas perform the best? Answer is, the Nimbarka line has not accepted the mood of Parakiya Rasa. Rather, they perform bhajana in the mood of Swakiya Rasa. In the Gaudiya line, Parakiya Rasa is topmost. The sweetness of Parakiya Rasa is greater than the sweetness of Swakiya Rasa. 62nd question. Why did Sri Jiva Goswami sometimes give instructions on Swakiya Bhajana? Was he himself a follower of that rasa? Answer is, Sri Jiva Goswami did not perform bhajana in the mood of Swakiya Rasa, but he saw that few devotees in Raja were inclined to it. Therefore, he gave instructions according to the different tastes of his various disciples. His commentary, Lokana Rokhani, states this clearly. 63rd question. How does Bhakti Vinod Thakura, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakura, describe Parakiya Rasa as the topmost? Answer is, transcendental pastimes are like mysterious jewels. Parakiya Madhurya Rasa is the Kaustubha gem among such jewels. 64th question. Do the devotees experience separation in the Lord's unmanifest pastimes due to his going to a distant place? Answer is, the Lord's pastimes are of two types, unmanifest and manifest. The separation experienced in Vipralamba Rasa pertains only to the Lord's manifest pastimes. Actually, there is no separation between Sri Krishna and the Vraja Gopis. Mathura Mahatmya states that Lord Krishna enjoys his pastimes in Vraja in the company of the cowherd boys and girls. The word Kridati, plays, is in the present tense. So we can understand that Krishna's Vrindavana pastimes are eternal. Even if Krishna goes to a distant place, there is no separation in the Krishna's unmanifest pastimes in Goloka Vrindavana. Their enjoyment is eternal. 105th chapter. The topic of this chapter is the love of God. First question is, how is prema defined? Dridha Mamat Asaya Nikata. Priti prema means when priti is firm and mixed with affection, it is called prema. Second question. How does prema gradually develop? How are prema, sneha, mana and pranaya defined? Answer is, Rati has the power to surpass everything. Therefore, it is called Samartha. It also has the power to make us forget everything. When Rati intensified and is unaffected by opposing moods, it is known as prema. Gradually manifesting its own sweetness, prema transforms into sneha, mana, pranaya, raga, anuraga and bhava. When prema matures and possesses the power of illumination, it melts the heart and is called sneha. Sneha is of two types, butter-like and honey-like. Sneha with intense affection is like butter. Sneha in the form of possessiveness is like honey. Rati is also of two types, I belong to him and he is mine. The mood of I belong to him is the butter-like sneha of Chandravali. The mood of he is mine is the honey-like sneha of Sri Radha. When sneha matures and manifests symptoms like inability and arrogance, It is called mana. Mana is of two kinds, Uddata and Lalita. When mana becomes more intense, the lover and the beloved are considered one. It is called pranaya. When pranaya matures, both the extreme happiness and the miseries experienced through the relationship are called raga, which appears in two types, nilima and bhaktima. The 41 types of bhava are sthyayi madhurya bhava, 33 vyabhichari bhavas and 7 secondary bhavas. The raga that gives ever newer pleasure to the lover is called anuraga. Fully controlled varieties of prema and the desire to take birth among inanimate beings are symptomatic of anuraga. Anuraga manifests Krishna in the mood of separation. The varietedness of love of God contains the mood of separation. Some additional information regarding this answer is given below. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur quotes Srila Rupa Goswami as follows. The loving propensity of the Ashraya, devotee, towards the Vishaya, Lord, becomes so ecstatic that even after enjoying the company of the beloved, the devotee feels that his enjoyment is insufficient. At such a time, the lover sees the beloved in different ways. Such a development of ecstasy is called anuraga. When anuraga reaches its highest limit and becomes perceivable in the body, it is called bhava. When the bodily symptoms are not very distinct, however, the emotional state is still called anuraga, not bhava. When bhava ecstasy is intensified, it is called mahabhava. The symptoms of mahabhava are visibly only in the bodies of eternal associates like gopis. Third question. What is the definition and function of Preeti? Answer is, Preeti is the personification of spiritual pastimes. It always gives unlimited pleasure to Krishna, who is eternally full of knowledge and bliss. Because of Preeti's nature, Krishna enjoys the wonderful mellows of ecstatic love. Krishna's holy names are the manifestation of Krishna's all-attractive feature. His form as Shyamasundara is the embodiment of complete spiritual bliss and is full of nectarian love. Krishna, the love of the gopis, is always complete with his unlimited auspicious qualities. He eternally enjoys the mellows of the transcendental pastimes. By meditating on the Lord's holy names, forms, qualities and pastimes, the living entity associates directly with his beloved Lord, Sri Krishna. Fourth question. What is the ultimate goal of life? Answer is, according to the teachings of Sriman Mahaprabhu, love of God is the ultimate goal of life. Love of God is twofold. Love of God born from the bhava and love of God born from mercy. Love of God born from bhava is divided into two, Vaidhi and Raganuga. Love of God born from the mercy is very rare, whereas love of God born from bhava is common. Fifth question. What is the difference between unalloyed love of God and love of God in awe and reverence? Answer is, love of God is divided into two classes, unalloyed love of God and love of God in awe and reverence. By cultivating Raganuga Bhakti, we awaken unalloyed love of God. Those practicing Vaidhi Bhakti attain love of God mixed with opulence. They obtain liberation such as possessing the same opulence as the Lord. Sixth question. What are the symptoms and impediments of prema? Answer is, the absence of satisfaction is a symptom of love of God. Love of God is the ultimate fruit of devotional service. Liberation and so forth are devotion's irrelevant fruits. Since self-satisfaction is an impediment to love of God, saintly persons consider it loathsome. With that, we complete today's session. We'll continue hereafter in the next session. My sincere obeisances at the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev and the divine couple Sri Sri Radha Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.